Well, I think it's 10 o'clock, so if it's all right with everyone, I'll call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. It's 10 a.m., and we have a bit of a special meeting today. Item number one is our Pledge of Allegiance. Michael, would you care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everyone. So if you're wondering what all this is Karen's medicine for me. I've been suffering with a little bit of a dry cough, so she said, here, you need all that. So
That's a lot, sir.
hopefully I won't have to get into it.
That's cute.
Anyway, he takes good care of me. All right, item 2A is part of our regular agenda item, and this is the one of our three that has an action to it, the others don't. And this is information, discussion, and action to acknowledge a leasing consent portion of the sewer infrastructure easement agreement between the Tri-City Regional Sanitary District and Freeport-McMoRan, Miami Incorporated. Michael.
Chairman, members of the board, thank you. So Gila County has been working with Tri-City Sanitary District on their sewer installation project. And we also lease the baseball field from, in Miami from FMI. And these two projects are sort of coming together. There's a small portion of the baseball field property that Tri-City Sanitary District needs to put a lift station in there for their new sewer system. So since we leased a property from FMI to run baseball fields out there, FMI just wants the Board of Supervisors to acknowledge that this lift station will be placed on that property and that the board is okay with that. So this isn't an official easement, this is just an acknowledgement that since we leased the baseball fields, we're aware that this is gonna go on. The location where this lift station is gonna be is not gonna interfere with the baseball fields or any activity that are currently out there right now. So that's what this item is, and I'd be happy to answer any question.
Thank you, Michael. Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions at all, and I think this has been before us before. And
Yes, it has.
and we were okay with it, but it kind of timed out with some of the delays of the project. And we went through all that because the antis were saying they were gonna take one of the ball fields, and they're not. And by having that lift station there, then, you know, working with Tri-City, then they're also gonna hook the restroom to the baseball field up to the sewer and things. And in the past, when we went through this before, you know, I went to the Little League and stuff, and they don't have an issue with it, and the mines don't have an issue with it. So I think it's a great thing, and if they're getting ready to go this project and need us to approve it, I think we already have, and I think it's a good thing for infrastructure in that area, and I do believe it needs to continue to go forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Supervisor. Supervisor Klein.
Michael, thank you. Yeah, I remember what Supervisor Humphrey's saying. We did already approve it and hashed it out and all that. I'm good. I was good with it then. I'm good with it now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Michael. So I'll entertain a motion to acknowledge this leasee's consent.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion that we acknowledge the lease consent portion of the sewer infrastructure easement agreement between the Tri-City Regional Sanitation District and Freeport-McMoRan, Miami Incorporated.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Michael. Item 2B is information and discussion regarding an update on the activities of the Information Technology Department. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning. I have Miss Cassie joining me this morning. Good morning, Chairman, Supervisors. We're going to be giving you a presentation on what the IT department does for the county. And we also have a second presentation along with it that I'm gonna
Okay,
let
great.
Cassie take the lead on here.
So Cassandra, are you presenting?
I am.
Awesome.
I
Love
decided to
that.
take a
Thank you.
break from the computer for a little bit, so. Just wanted to start off by saying thank you for having us. I know that getting something on your agenda that says IT department updates isn't that exciting, so thank you for having us, and we're just gonna run through what is that we do and what we do for the county and who we support, all that good stuff. So to start off, what we do, it's a really loaded question on what an IT department does. Some days we're running around, some days it's meetings, some days we don't even know what day it is. But every day is different. But for the most part, all days, we always support, implement, we plan, secure, learn, and a lot more. We're always doing something. We're always doing something. And some of the ways on how we help is that we offer technical support to all the departments, and that's something that I'll go on later on, who exactly we support, who we help. We're going to go over the network management, all that internet, the connectivity, cybersecurity, which I'm going to go into detail on, and I want to thank you guys for being so proactive with it and understanding the changing world that we're in with it. And then I want to talk about system administration, what we do as a team, the planning and implementation, and then our collaboration with other departments. So to start off, who we help all county employees, all departments, but we also help the courts department. We help the Justice Court, Superior Court, CASA, and probation. Am I missing anybody there, or is it just those?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. And we also help the sheriff's office. With the sheriff's office, we help all the sheriff's office, the deputies, even outside people who need connectivity to our end. We help them out. And we also help the schools department. We help out with adult education over at Central Heights in the one-stop area, and we help out in Payson with the schools. And we also support the libraries, and this is all locations in Gila County: Tonto Basin, Globe, Hayden, Pine, Miami, Payson, St. Carlos, and Young. And we hit all of those. Okay, so for our technical support, we offer daily support Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But we also, in supporting the sheriff's office and the libraries and those, we understand that we have to be available after hours. And once every 11 or 12 weeks or so, one person in our department will be on call. And we take calls 6 to 7 a.m., Monday through Friday, Saturday, whatever, 24/7 support there. And then, as I talked about who we support, we help Northern Gila County, Southern Gila County. We support the courts, library, and the sheriff's office. And if you're seeing this, if anyone's watching and they don't have our after hours number, because we do have a designated after hours number that people can call, it forwards to the person that is on call. And if anyone listening doesn't have that number, just reach out to us, the IT team, and we'll make sure to get that number out there. And then, as I said, we support all the libraries. We help them maintain their reliable infrastructure, and we also make sure that the public has seamless access to those public computers. And we also support their library software systems. We keep track of their computers, inventory them, and try to keep them going for the public that may not have access to those computers at home. And as I said, we also support the sheriff's office. We manage their secure systems. Their systems are their own entities, and we definitely help try to support them as best we can. We maintain their networks and hardware to safeguard that sensitive data. And of course, we offer tech support to keep those operations moving, running smoothly. We want to make sure that every officer, every deputy, whoever, the dispatchers, that they can perform their duties to the highest of their abilities, and technology shouldn't be an issue there. And then, if you guys have any questions so far, if you guys are okay with me just rattling on, but.
Well, if anyone has questions, we'll just speak up, I think. Yeah, thank you.
So then moving on to the network management. So networking it's essential for the county departments and other connected entities, like I said, with the sheriff's department.
Our goal is to take these interconnected systems and maintain the integrity of them, but keep them running efficiently. So we don't want there to be any interruptions in our networking. We want people who are working from home to be able to connect to the VPN without running into any issues or not having anyone to talk to about it or get help from anybody. We also, another thing that I want to go into is the security of the network management, but that's a whole other slide like I talked about, so I'll get into that a little more. As for network management, firewalls, so that's one of the things that I want to talk to whenever it comes to network management, just to give you guys a little understanding of what it is that we do with it. This ties into security with firewalls, so they're really our first line of defense whenever it comes to our networking. They monitor internet traffic for those bad guys that are trying to come through, and a firewall definitely acts like a gatekeeper between us and the outside world. And as I said before, we keep up with our VPNs. This is tied in with networking. This is so all of those people that are working from home, all of our remote workers, not even working from home, but just going out, conferencing, whatever they need to do.
What's a VPN?
So a VPN, it is a connection.
Virtual private network. So
There
your
we go.
VPN is your virtual private network. So if you're sitting on the outside, say you're sitting at a hotel and you need to connect back to the county, we have a way for you to open this application and it actually puts your authentication back in through the firewall and back into us.
I see. Okay, thank you.
So it just kind of creates a tunnel back to us without having to go through all of that. And then we also run regularly conducted audits and assessments on our networking. These check for any vulnerabilities, and we also just perform regular compliance checks on that to make sure that we're in compliance with the auditors and all that good stuff. And it's really just being proactive whenever it comes to most of this stuff, which very thankful for my team and Carrie and everybody that we really do try to keep on top of this, and I think we do a good job with it. Okay, so moving on to cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is, I just wanted to start off with cybersecurity. I started this off at the beginning, but thank you guys for being so proactive with it and understanding that it really is an evolving world out there, and people are always going to be trying, and we're always going to be fighting against them and doing what we can. So thank you guys for understanding all of that. So whenever it comes to cybersecurity, what we do is we monitor those threats that are coming in. We have systems set up, we log into our things that we need to log into, and we monitor those threats. We keep track, we watch for abnormalities, all that stuff. And we are always on the lookout for growing trends, anything. When it comes to threat intelligence, we're always on the lookout. And one thing that we do is we patch. So once a month, we have all of these systems that we have going, and once a month we take all of the security patches, all of the updates for all of them, and we go in and we apply them once a month. And then we go back in and make sure that everything's running again. So we take the security side of things very seriously and apply it where we need to apply it, and I think we do pretty well with it. Another thing that we have is an IRP, which is an incident response plan, and that really just outlines the procedures in case something does happen. We know what we need to do, who we need to contact, the steps that need to be taken, and it really offers a more clear communication channel for you, Mr. O'Driscoll, Mr. Menlove, all of the people that need to be involved in the things that we have going on. And then we have our system administration team. So what we do is we try to make things more manageable, in the best way to put it. We do regular maintenance. Like I said, we do the monthly patching, but we also go in and regularly check. We do our updates, and Carrie is really great with all of our data management. We have it all backed up and it's taken care of, and that's another thing that we do in this system admin team. And we also deal with user management. So when new people come in, we coordinate with HR. We get their accounts made, coordinate with their department heads, get them taken care of. But when people also leave the county, we take the security of their account very seriously, and we disable them and keep really healthy track of those accounts and the access that they do have to the things that we have. And then,
So Cassie, one question on that. So when somebody moves on out in their account, how long do we keep those accounts before? I mean, is there some point in time where they're just deleted and done away with?
So the accounts are kept for 90 days, depending on the user. Some users, there is a request from department heads requesting that we do keep that data longer, depending on what data they had access to and what their job was. So, but for the most part, it's a 90 days that we keep the accounts active. And we do have backups of account data that we can go back and pull to if something needed to be pulled.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
so then moving on into collaboration and training, one thing that we do is whenever a department has new software that they're interested in, we really encourage everyone to reach out to us. We were more than happy to sit in demos to implement the software and really do training with everybody. It's always good to have a computer person on your side whenever it comes to things like that. So, and we never mind helping.
So I have a question there, and that's good. You guys do that and promote that and offer to help with that. But what about you guys? From your standpoint, do we give you the opportunity to get enough training, or do you need more, or where are we at there?
So we offer training to all of the employees. I'm actually in the process. I'm actually going to be teaching to my staff a Network Plus class. So I give them training myself. If I'm unable to provide the training, we provide the training for them and give them those opportunities. And if it's something that I need more approval for or need more funding, I go to Mr. O'Driscoll and Mr. Minlove and request, the training for that, because, it starts with us, and it's kind of scary to think about that, but everything, regardless who you are, when you log into a computer, that first step starts with IT to make sure that you guys are secure, and that is one of our main priorities, is to make sure you do stay secure, so.
Well, and that's what I was, I'm sitting here thinking, every year, like when we have our audits, we'll never pass an audit on cybersecurity. I mean, because it's the bad people that's their job. They need to keep going to find out ways of hacking into whoever.
Correct.
And unfortunately, you guys are the ones working at trying to keep up with that. But you never know what direction it's going to come from. So from that standpoint, from a county standpoint, do we give the IT department enough flexibility or training to help with that for you guys?
I think, in my opinion, Mr. Minlove has been awesome as far as being willing to let us do any training that we want. And he, like I said, if I come across something that I feel we need more training in, I can talk to him, and he's more than willing to help us with that. Security is, and his number one thing also. So he is more than willing to help us wherever we need as far as the training goes. So, and I think we've done, knock on wood, a fairly good job keeping us secure, and that is my main priority, is to keep us secure. So, and if I find something that I feel that we need training on, I'm always sending things to Cassie and the team. Say, hey, here's an opportunity. Go and look at this. Daryl was out of Palo Alto training, which is our firewall. He was at a training yesterday in the Valley for that. So, if I, as more knowledge is better. So,
Good.
I appreciate that, though.
Good.
Can I ask if you could help me understand better what this term phishing means?
So phishing, it is when a bad actor, they'll send you an email and they're going to try really, really hard to get your information from you. It's these emails, they can be disguised as credit card statements, invoices. They can be just, hey, I'm from India and I have all this money in this account and I would really love to give it to you. I've seen ones like that. They're really trying to get your bank information, any personal information they can take from you. And with phishing, it's really important to, and this segues right into this training, is it's really important to be able to recognize the signs of phishing, because there are signs of it, misspelling, things like that. And with the training, that's the stuff that we put out there, is what to look for, how to better see these emails that are coming through, how to better identify them as phishing emails. And there's different, there's all kinds of different phishing. There's, like I said, invoices and things like that.
And one thing I'd like to touch on that too is in the year coming up is what I would like to do. I'm going to be implementing some lunch and learns. And I think part of that lunch and learns is having different and multiple classes of the same thing. We'll have a class on fishing. That way you can see, you know, and one of the main points is if you ever get an email and, you know, and it just looks a little weird, click on that bar up top and see the return address. Who is this actually coming from? It may say that C. Bartling sent you this email, but what's the last of that email? Is it cbartling@gmail.com? You know that's not me. So, you know, kind of look at the email address to see if you think it's phishing and send us an email, you know, say, hey, I think this email may be wrong. That's what we're there for. Please reach out to us. We are more than willing to take a call. I don't care if you call me 100 times a day. I would rather you call me 100 times a day than you accidentally click on a link. And it happens, you know, it happens to the best of us. We can all click on a link and not realize that we're doing it,
So is a link and opening a PDF file going to be the same risk? Like, say there's something and I said, oh, well, that's some water report that I need to read, and it turns out to be something wrong, but it looks more like a document. Is that something that could put me at risk?
It could, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
okay. So that's pretty scary stuff then.
It is. It is so scary to know that, you know, how many emails we get. I mean, thousands of emails come into the county every day. You know, and we have systems in place. We have multiple layers. We have, you know, the first layer when it hits here, then we have another layer when it hits there, and then we have another layer. But each layer, you know, it gets through all three of those layers, and we still have emails that get through. So, I mean, it's like you said, it doesn't matter how hard we try. People are out there every day trying to figure out a way to get around it, and they do. So, I mean, we try our hardest to be as secure as we can, and we're going to continue to try. You know, but you're always going to have that opportunity of getting a phishing email. It's going to happen. So,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
And then we're going to move on to the Gila County website and the employee portal. This is one thing that we do, and I really want to thank, because I personally work on both of these, and I want to just extend my thanks to all the departments that helped me with this. It's really a collaborative effort to keep it all updated and well maintained, and we are going through and we're updating the website. We're trying to get that revamped, and then with the employee portal, it's just keeping all of the internal links up to date, so all of the HR information, all of the finance forms that they might need, and everything else. That's keeping that up to date, and like I said, it really goes back to all the help that I get from other departments with that, because I definitely can't do all that alone. And that's about all I had for you guys on my end, if you guys had any questions.
I'd just like to add a couple things too.
Okay.
So, first, thank you to Cassie. This is her first presentation, and
Good job,
awesome
Cassie.
job.
Very good.
Awesome job,
Very
Miss
good.
Cassie.
Thank you, Cassie.
I want to send a thank you out to the whole county, because we couldn't help support you without your support to us. So I want to thank every one of you guys. And I want to make it a point that everyone feels comfortable calling us. I don't want anybody to call us and, you know, feel bad that they're calling us, because that is what we are there for. So please reach out to us. Even if you have a question on something on your computer, it's not even related to anything. That is what we're there for. My line is always open. I am open 24/7. You can call me 24/7. It doesn't matter. I will answer that call and help you out. So, and like Cassie said, we support the county Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You know, we have techs on staff from 8 to 5, and then every week I have somebody different from the team. That way, everybody in the team is trained. You know, so one week it's Cassie, the next week it's Zach, the next week it's Daryl. You know, so we have our admins and our techs, everybody supporting after hours, because I want everybody to be available and be able to have that knowledge to be able to support. So.
Very good. Thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
James, you were reaching for your microphone, Mr. Chair, so maybe James would like to.
Okay, sure.
At some point, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Supervisor Humphrey, thank you. Want to reiterate or make a few points that we have. That one of the things that we've done with the IT department is, prior to you coming on as a board, things were really segregated and separated, and there wasn't a cohesive group that was the IT department. From the courts and from the sheriff's office, those positions were brought into under the umbrella of Kerry. The reason for doing that is we don't want things to be left out on an island, which is what they were. We want to be able to have the cybersecurity and all those things apply to all departments. And if we've got individuals that are outside of what Carrie is doing, then it exposes us and puts us at risk. So we brought all those in under that umbrella of the IT department. Carrie's doing a masterful job of coordinating all that. As you probably remember too, that we did have an incident where we were attacked, and that was 6 years ago. On July 1st that we were attacked. There have been tremendous steps that have been taken so that should there be an attack, and as has been pointed out, that there's a constant deluge that we get every single day. But we have things in place that should we get attacked, that we can recover from it. And that leads into what the Arizona County's insurance pool, they helped us through that attack and came out and decided to do a review of every single counties that they cover, all of our IT departments and what things we have in place. We went from being horribly exposed and horribly at risk to one of the model IT departments, according to ACIP, that is there to ensure that we don't have these incidents take place. They repeatedly single out Gila County as a model for IT and cybersecurity and the things that are taking place. In our audits, I can't remember exactly when the Auditor General focused on cybersecurity and IT departments. We had 12, 15 audit findings. We're down to 2, and as was mentioned, I don't know that we can ever, the Auditor General, it's like in their job description to have an audit finding for IT. They don't feel like they're doing their job if they don't say something about IT, but down to 2 of them, and those items are specifically addressed constantly by the IT department. So I acknowledge Carrie and her team and all that they've done, made tremendous progress under your guidance, under your direction, and under your allocation of resources. To be frank, when I first went to Navajo County as finance director, we were talking about IT resources. One of the supervisors there said, if you've got a piece of paper and a pencil, that's all you need. If you use paper and pencil, then you're not at risk, and you don't have to have all this IT stuff. We have to have IT stuff, and we have to be able to be efficient and effective in our jobs and to do that, and it has to be secure. Thanks to you, as has been pointed out, that you have supported that and been very economical and efficient in doing so, but at the same time, being able to allocate the resources necessary to run a top-notch IT department that has a secure and operating the way we should. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, I would just like to say, thank all the IT people very, very much for your interest and patience in your profession, because it drives me nuts. I'm in the Stone Age when it comes to IT, and I want to be in the Stone Age. But my hat's off to you for the things that you deal with every day. And every time I turn on my phone, something's different about it. So I can only imagine your world of how constant the change is. There's no such thing as idle anything. And at one time, I got a call from a constituent that they emailed me something. And so I got to check in with IT, and it didn't make it through IT. And so when I asked for a list of emails I didn't get or where could I see, I was extremely surprised of the number of emails that are sent to me that you guys stop before it even gets to my phone. And it was a large number. I mean, it was a lot per day, per month. And so I sifted through some of those to reach out to a few of the people that didn't get through. But I don't apologize to those people, and I thank you very much. And if I don't get half of my emails to keep us safe, I'm fine with that. I'll tell the public, hey, we have to protect ourselves. I have a phone number. Call me instead of just shoot me any, because it seems to be, with the group emails and all this stuff,
yeah.
It's easier just to email 15 people than it is to pick up the phone and call somebody. So in my public meetings and stuff, I advise people to call my phone number. You know, don't email me, because maybe it'll get through, maybe it doesn't. And like I say, I'm not fond of my phone to sit down for 30, 40 minutes, hour a day and go through emails. Drives me crazy. I'd just soon answer a telephone is where my thumb's out trying to answer email. So I thank you very much for all that you do. And like I say, if, you know, I was really surprised at the emails that I don't get, and that's because of what you guys are doing to keep us safe. And so for any of my constituents out there that are listening, give me a call. You know, don't email me. So anyway, thank you very much. I
You're very
appreciate
welcome.
all you do.
Thank you. Supervisor Klein.
Those filters are good.
They catch a lot, and just so y'all know, the way the filters work, there's multiple different ways that a filter works, but one word will block your email. If there is that one word in that email, it'll block it. You know, and it's a wide range of words. It's not just, you know, one. You know,
Right.
so there's so many different things that can block an email. So
But Carrie, thank you, and thank your department. Cassie, you guys are awesome. You know, they've always been more than helpful. I'm doing good to turn my cell phone on, and I don't know, sometimes Kathy turns my computer on, so. So it's good. You've done a really good job, and if there's anything support-wise from me that I can do to help you guys, which as a board, I think we're all hopefully in agreement too, but let me know.
I
and,
appreciate that.
Go from there.
Thank you. Cassandra, great job this morning. You're a natural. So let me ask you a couple of questions. How many employees does your department have?
11.
11. So you do all of that with 11.
Yeah.
Your department, to me, is very important. I don't understand it all, or even claim to understand much of it. I'm able to operate in the world of my phone and computer, but it's not my thing. I don't have interest in it, so I don't really pursue trying to understand every aspect of it. So I have to trust in our IT department. And I think you guys do great. And you guys did score very high with the Auditor General. And I remember asking the question, is there ever a county that has ever scored perfect? And they said, well, no, we don't do that. And so you are so close to that, though. I think that Gila County should be proud to know that we are leading that throughout the state. And you guys are responsible for that. The thing about this is that there's always a threat. You're at war every day for that. And so the one thing I do not ever want to get a phone call on is our system has been breached. And I think you guys are defending that rather well. So thank you. Thank you. And I presume that you have everything you need to conduct the IT department. If you don't have enough, then you have to let us know.
Can do. I do have one more part of my presentation, though.
Okay, all right.
So,
Go
can
ahead.
you bring that up for me, please? So we are in the process of implementing a new phone system. So with this new phone system, it goes back to the security of things. So, and with the new phone system, it's going to add a lot of more security features. It's going to eliminate our one point of failure. Right now, we have one point of failure, our courthouse. Our phone system runs through our MDF here down in which is our main data center down in the basement. So if you have an outside, so if Payson or the sheriff's office or Young, all of our outlying sites lose connectivity to our point we're at right now, we lose our phone system. So this phone system will no longer require a connection here. So it's taken it to the cloud, and I know there's a lot of things that have gone to the cloud, but this right here is making it where we're actually able to implement the phone system throughout countywide and be able to make it easier and more secure for y'all. So with the, like I said, with the phone system, it has the modern communication. It goes through the cloud. You're able to communicate. We can actually have your desk phone application ring on your cell phone, your laptop, or your desk phone. You have any of those options. You no longer even have to have a desk phone if you don't want a desk phone. So, and it completely integrates with everything there. So, it is cloud-based. And like I said, you have the flexibility of all of it. One example, we've done a partial rollout just as testing base right now. But one prime example right now, our Roosevelt substation where the sheriff's office is, Sergeant Thor and them are out there. They didn't have a phone there because they couldn't connect back to us. The connectivity there is so they don't have much service there. Let's put it that way. So we were able to put one of these phones there. They now have a desk phone there with one of these because it doesn't take hardly any bandwidth to make a call on one of these desk phones. Your desk phone is more or less going to look like the one that you have now. It's just a little bit different. It's made by a different company. But it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to implement these phones. So. WIT has advanced analytics. We're able to run reports. So on those reports, I can tell you how many calls were called during a day, who made the calls. If we have somebody from the outside that calls and makes a threat or whatever, and you call me and say, hey, somebody called at this time, I can literally go in there and tell you who made that call, what time they made that call, how long they made that call, and even do some tracing back further in the back end on it. So we do have the options to turn on recording. Right now we have the PACE and probation, or not the PACE and but Patient Justice Court is actually on the new phone system. So with the new phone system there, we have them on a call queue. All the outside calls come in, it goes into a queue, and then they answer the calls into that queue. They have requested me to turn on call recording on that queue. So if they have somebody to call in and make a call on there, and they need to have that recording, I can pull that recording for them. I'm able to do that. So it is a by request for that. It is not enabled on all phones, and the majority of them is on your queues, So one thing, can you swap over to that report for me? So I've run an example report for you. So this is yesterday on all the calls that came in yesterday. So so just for yesterday, I've got 3 departments on this phone system right now. Can you enlarge it some there, Cass? There we go. So yesterday alone, we had 632 calls, y'all. So we had 369 incoming or inbound calls and 263 outgoing calls. This is a report that I'm able to run. So we were not able to run that on the old system. So this is going to be able to give us, the amount of calls incoming and outgoing. If you have a department that needs to know, is this person actually taking calls or receiving calls or whatever, we're able to run those reports for you guys. So, all right. And I put an example of that report in there for you guys on that. So on these new phones, the call quality on the new phones is night and day compared to what the other one was. So it is there. You don't have the static. You don't have the scratchiness on those calls. And we're able to, we can mask a caller ID on there. Like I said, the features that are available on this is night and day what the other one was. We're able to, like for a department, like for the PACE and Justice Court, we were able to create them a phone tree with, overnight we were able to create them that phone tree. And a phone tree is, how it works is somebody calls in, they get an announcement that says, thank you for calling Gila County or the PACE and Justice Court, and please hold for the next available caller, and so we're able to do that. So our IT department is actually running through the new phone system also, so when you call into there, you'll actually hear me, say thank you for calling Gila County IT department, and then after hours, it automatically goes to that after hours number. So security. So all calls are, we require a 2-factor authentication when logging in and configuring the system. We do regular security audits on the system. We're also doing security audits, but the actual go-to system is actually doing security audits for us also. So if they see an anomaly in there or something, they will reach out to us and let us know. So on that. Here is actually what the phone looks like. It is a very user-friendly. Like I said, it kind of looks like your old one. It's more or less the same thing. And on this one, you do not have to dial a 9 to get out. You just dial the dial the extension or dial the numbers, just like you're using your cell phone. So once everybody is implemented, we will be able to do that, so. And then, introducing the phone system, a cutting-edge cloud-based platform will revolution how we communicate and collaborate as an organization. This modern solution pack advanced features and powerful analytics to boost our productivity and connectivity like never before. In the coming weeks, we'll be rolling out the go-to phone department to department. Along with the hardware deployment, we'll provide comprehensive training to ensure everyone can harness the full potential of the transformative technology. Big words thrown in there. Get ready to experience communication that's smarter, more efficient, and tailored to your team's unique needs. All right, any questions for y'all? I know I just threw a lot at y'all, and I apologize. So.
No, that's great. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Supervisor Humphrey?
I have no questions. I'm good.
I will
Thank you.
be providing comprehensive training to each department, so I will make sure that you are comfortable with the system before we walk away on that. So.
Well, you did say that we don't need a phone in our office if
You do
we
not.
choose not to.
No, you do not.
Yeah, then that may be a direction that I go, because I don't use it much anyway. My cell phone has kind of became my buddy, so
That is totally fine. We can
Yeah.
totally work with that.
thank you.
You are welcome.
Supervisor Klein.
I'm good. Thank you, Carrie.
You are very welcome.
Yeah.
So this phone is what I use, but you would add a number onto this phone? Is that what you do?
So there's an actual app. We have two choices. We can actually forward your desk phone to that, but there's an actual application that can be installed on there that people can call into your desk phone and it'll ring that phone for you.
Okay. All right. I look forward to reviewing that with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You are
Yeah.
very welcome.
Yeah, great. Anybody else? No? Okay. How soon are you going to be trying to start that rollout?
Probably we will continue the rollout next week. So like I said, we already have 3 departments. We have the Pace and Justice Court, Health and Emergency Services, and Public Fiduciary are currently on the system. So,
Very good.
and I think we've gone pretty good. The IT department's been on it for a few months. We wanted to test to make sure it was good. So we will continue to roll out. If you have issues or anything, please reach out.
Appreciate all you do.
Oh,
All
absolutely.
right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, our last item today is 2C, information discussion regarding utilizing the Gila County Tommy Klein Martin Complex as the location for the construction and installation of the Rally Around the Flags project. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. So this is a continuation of the last work session back in October of 2024 regarding this project. And Chairman Christensen, please correct any mistakes I make since this project is in your district. So the Rally Around the Flags projects, if you remember, the board instructed staff at the last work session to look at alternative sites. If you recall, the original site for this project was, I believe, on the Apache Nation land. That changed, and they were considering putting these flags, constructing them, and installing them on the Tommy Klein Martin building. And then the last work session, the board wanted staff to look at some alternative sites. And that's what the staff did. The staff met with Supervisor Christensen and representatives from the not-for-profit, which I believe are up in the Payson office today. In particular, we met on a couple occasions out at the property that Gila County owns near the community college in Payson off of 260. The county owns 20 acres of that land. So we met out there with my facilities department. We met out there with not-for-profit representatives just to see if there is an area out there which we could install these flags on this property and also be near some infrastructure. So after several visits to this site, it was determined by staff that property would probably not work that well for this particular project. There is no infrastructure close to it. There is some infrastructure close to the community college, but we would have to either level some of the property to make this project work, which could increase the cost dramatically for this project. as well as some of the visibility of these flags. If we put these flags located closer towards the community college, they would be, you wouldn't have much visibility for these flags. So there's two issues. We looked at the cost and the visibility. For that particular property, the 20 acres, it would increase the cost of this project drastically, and the visibility would be extremely low. So we went with that. We looked at other areas around the Payson area, and the conclusion staff had was the Tommy Klein Martin property would seem to be the best location for this property if the board determines this project to move forward. It's flat land there, it's next to infrastructure, so the cost would be a lot lower than the 260 property. So that's where we stand at this particular moment, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or hear your thoughts on this. So please ask away.
Thank you, Michael. And just to reiterate what you said, we do have representatives working on this project at the Payson facility if we have any questions for them.
You betcha, sir.
Now, Supervisor Humphrey.
I have no questions.
Thank you. Supervisor Klein.
That was quick. So if it's not gonna work on the 260 property, it's not gonna work. The one thing that I will say, and I'm not totally opposed to having it at Tommy Klein Martin building, but I will be one that's gonna be looking at not cluttering up later, you know, so if the flags will fit, they'll fit, but boy, we're gonna take up about every little piece of that property to do this. And that's fine, that's good if we need to do that, which, I mean, our 20 acres, we just need to deal with it in another way. It needs to go down the road, actually. And so I don't have a problem if we need to go that way. As far as infrastructure, leveling and all that, I never did go look at that site with you guys. You know, I visualized a site with those flags to have like a little visitor area with plaques and benches and things like that, which we don't have room at Tommy Martin Klein building. And so the other place where I was thinking we had the room, if you're saying we don't have the infrastructure or it costs too much or whatever, that's fine. I mean, we'll stand the poles, put the flag, and we'll be good and go from there. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Supervisor. You did receive some of the measurements and plans, I think, previously about location and things. So
Yes, sir.
so we're working toward that, and we're not sure how much this project's going to cost. There has been a significant amount of money that has already been collected, and so can you tell us now, given the fact that it seems like we're accepting the idea of putting it there, what the next project is, what the next step is?
Oh, absolutely, sir. So it's my understanding currently the not-for-profit has raised approximately $33,000, and each board member, you three, has pledged $5,000, I believe, so 33 plus 15. That's how much money we have currently for this project. We don't know the cost, the total cost just yet, but the next step would be to hire a design and engineering company to come out and to design this and engineer it, because we are going to be required to have some ADA compliance as well as running electricity to these flags for some lights and those kinds of things. That particular cost is approximately $10,000. So just to do the design and engineer. It's also my understanding, Chairman, that we have a lot of people up in the Payson area, local businesses and professionals that are going to be donating time and resources and materials to this project. So that's going to, of course, reduce the cost, the total cost of how we install these flags and pour the concrete. So it's all going to depend on what resources we get for this project and who's going to do what and coordinate that before we can get a final cost. But the initial step is to hire a design and engineering firm to come in to even let us know if it's feasible in that area. And then if it is, we'll be able to get a better handle on the cost after that.
I thought we've already determined that. That's feasible in that area.
No, we have not determined whether it's feasible or what it's gonna look like. We just have renderings of drawings of ideas. So we know the number of flags, we just don't know the best location, the setbacks, those kinds of things. And where to tap into the electrical system for the lights and those kinds of things. So we need a design and engineering firm to come in and meet with everybody and get their vision on paper and then move forward with the cost.
That could put a whole new twist to this whole project.
It could, but it also could tell us that the project is feasible the way the vision of the not-for-profit and some of the Payson residents and the volunteers, the vision that they have in their mind
Sure.
for this. It could also tell us that that actually can occur.
And what did you say the cost of that's gonna be?
Estimated cost for the design and engineering is $10,000, $10,150 or something like that, I think.
And which company is this gonna be through?
I forget, sir. I can get that to you.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When we look at something simple like this, a flag project at our space, why are we not using our own engineers?
They're not designers as well, and some of them aren't engineers in some of the electrical systems and ADA, as far as pouring the concrete and things like that. So you typically go out and hire a company that has all those professionals under one roof that you can tap into. Because electrical engineer is not gonna be versed in how to design something with ADA, flagpoles and walkways and those kinds of things.
I understand
So,
that,
yeah.
but I'm looking at a project that to me doesn't seem like it's a real involved project. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit more complicated than just installing flags at this particular, because we have setbacks from the Beeline Highway. We also have infrastructure, and we also have ADA compliance issues. We have to figure that out. And then, of course, you have to pour the concrete a certain depth and those kinds of things. So yeah, we have to take a look at that.
I could go on this subject for the rest of the day, so I think I'll cut it off right there. Thank you.
You betcha, sir.
So, Michael, the information you gave me was Logan Simpson.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's the company that gave us a quote.
correct.
So, the question then that I'm hearing is it an absolute requirement that we do this, this approach, the $10,150 design approach, versus doing it ourselves? Now, flags, it's gonna be tall flag poles, and there's gonna be wind, and there's gonna have to be some sort of engineering involved to make sure nothing, collapses, falls over, and we do have setbacks. But is this the only route that we can go, or is there a lesser expensive way of doing it while maintaining protection, liability, and all that?
Let me put it this way. I would strongly recommend to go that route. Can we do it possibly another way, some in-house, some contracting work? Maybe, but it might actually be more costly in the end to do it that way and more time-consuming as far as that goes. But when you're talking about engineering the length, of flagpoles and pouring concrete and putting in electricity, it'd be my strong recommendation to get a design firm to come in and help us with that.
Mr. Chair, I agree with Michael, because if we go further with a contractor, I don't know that a contractor would even bid on the job without a design. Because having been a contractor for 27 years, if I don't have a map to go by, I'm not gonna take on the liability of all of the facets that are included in something like, in a project like this.
Thank you. So, Michael, I would agree that we should start the process then, get a design on it, get parameters on it, and then we can figure out whether or not we can actually get this project done.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Is that what everybody kind of thinks? Well, I can't ask that question, so.
Withdraw that one.
That's the sort of the message that I got. And so, is there anything else from the supervisors?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Just two questions, and I don't need them answered now. But one, you mentioned electrical. I was considering maybe solar. You know, if that could be a thought on lighting up the flags at night if they're gonna be 24/7. And who's gonna be responsible for the flags? Like putting them up, taking them down, is that gonna be from volunteers or things? And I don't expect answers from those now. Those are just questions that enter my mind if we go forward with this project. I would be interested in knowing.
So I do have the answer, Supervisor Humphrey, on those. As far as it would be the volunteers that would be responsible for coming in for the flags, right? You know, lowering them, raising them. The whole project itself, after it's built, it's on our county property, so our facilities department would be responsible for maintaining that particular area, just like we do with other, like the statue up there and those kinds of things. If there's anything that needs to be maintained, we'll take care of that. And then the other question is, we have been in discussions with my facility director, Joseph, about solar and electrical. Solar seems to be actually a little bit higher costs with possible more maintenance issues. Because you have to have specialized high-powered solar systems for the lights to shine upwards towards the flag. So we are looking at solar as well as electrical, and that's going to be part of the design phase as well.
Well, thank you for your extremely thorough approach on this project.
You betcha, sir.
Yeah, it's kind of a moving target as we start into this process. So we have, basically what we're saying is we're gonna grant permission for this project. That is, it's not my project, but they did approach me. So it's a project that has been put together mainly by those that are involved in Payson right now. And they have taken a great deal of time to collect money to do it. And so we want to do it right, and it'll last for a long time. There has been indications that the Honor Guard would take care of the flags replacement and all of that. So those are all things we need to work through.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Anything else, Michael?
I'm good.
Okay. Is that it? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Lisa, do we have anyone called to the public that would like to speak? Thank you, and thank you for coming today, by the way, there in Payson. Cassandra, anyway, okay, anyone here in Globe that wishes to speak? Okay, let's move on to item number 4, and that is our reports. And I'll turn it over to Manager Menla.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for the moment. I did want to, last Tuesday after our board meeting, got informed of the community college and the status that they have been awarded. They have been awarded a accreditation by the accreditation agency of being able to move forward. And so in the announcement that I received that there, as of July 1st, we no longer have a provisional community college district that is tied to Eastern Arizona College, but we have Gila County Community College District. I want to acknowledge you as the Board of Supervisors that as a one-time expense in the cost of getting to this point, that I believe in your foresight and your wisdom and supporting education in Gila County, that this was able to happen by allocating out of the county budget $250,000 a year. This has come to be, and I think that what you have done has been an extremely important part of getting to this point. So I express thank you and congratulate the college district and you for partnering for the Gila County, the Board of Supervisors partnering with the community college district to get to this point of being a full-blown community college in Gila County. Tremendous time for celebration. There are a couple of events that will be scheduled here in the coming weeks to celebrate together. So, Mr. Chairman, I know many of you, each of you may have a comment for that, but wanted to acknowledge that and congratulate the community college district and all of their work. It's been very challenging, very difficult. The Board of Supervisors, all of us here asked questions about the progress and things, and those are things that we should ask. That it's important that we know what's going on when we're putting money into such things, but it's come to pass. So, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Humphrey.
Yeah, Mr. Minlove, how super that information was. You know, when we first started reaching for that, there was some skepticism, but it's neat that it is carried through, and with our funding towards that, it'll be interesting working with them in the future to continue. I would like to continue being a funding source for their struggling and continuing to get this project going. And on other things, I don't have a lot down that I'm working on or going to work on, but something I'd like to work on is the three of us up here, we have got sworn in, so we're reelected for 4 more years, and Mr. Minlove, your contract is for another 4. So, you know, looking forward, I would like to dive back into some, you know, some of our projects and things and where we're going with those, like the electrical for this building. We know that that's a major, and you had talked about us, you know, perhaps needing to reach out for a loan for a project such as that. So, you know, I mean, with the 4 years to work on something of that nature, you know, the Central Heights building, I think we've had many, many meetings on properties and projects, and I'd like to kind of narrow some of those down in the future. You know, the Central Heights building, can we own it? Do we not want to own it? You know, where we're going with that. We've had a presentation of a new building, and, you know, where might that set? And if it does, what are we going to do with our existing buildings? And so in the next 4 years, I'd like to kind of look at some of those. You know, the 260 property came up today for the flags, you know, kind of what direction are we going with that? We've been working on that one for about 8 years. So I would like to see some of these projects get a direction in our go forward with some of the things that we can work on. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Yeah, Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Klein?
I really don't have a lot, but I do want to talk about the college just real briefly, and I really want to thank Jessica and you, James. There was a lot of work that you guys did on this that probably not very many people know about. So that was a big undertaking, and the college board did an awesome job getting it done. A lot of worries going around our communities over that, and rightfully so. That was a big tackle. So, you know, from us as a board, it's good we could support them and hopefully continue to do that as well. But you two did an awful lot of work on that one. So thank you so much for that. And I agree with Tim, you know, just looking forward, we got a lot of stuff to go through. And Homer, you need to stick around a little longer to see us through on all this. But there'll be some good discussions. And I think my opinion on a lot of this stuff that we've discussed, let's just say the last 3 years, we need to quit discussing it and see what we're going to do and get started. That's the direction I'm going to be coming from. It's like, no, I'm about done talking about these projects and stuff. So are we going to do them? Let's do them. If we're not, let's go on. Other than that, Mr. Chair, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll make a comment about the college. It's on the front page also of the paper today in Payson. And so the outcome is absolutely what everyone has been looking for. We've had some rough water on the way to it. And so I'm very pleased to the news. And so candidacy at this point, and they can start pulling everything together for a July 1st full accreditation, which is great. 20 years it's been kind of a project. Also wanted to say then, since I'm on the Legislative Policy Committee for the CSA, we had our first meeting. And so the legislature of Arizona, they do an awful lot right away when it comes to introducing bills. So as of January 23rd, that's 11 days in the session, there's over 900 bills. And I presume they'll get pretty close to 2,000 by the time it's done. The CSA Legislative Policy Committee then reviews some of the ones that are pertinent to county issues. And so we went over quite a few of them last week, and sort of the filter that is used on all of these is 5 questions. Is it an appropriate policy solution? Are there other avenues to pursue? Does it show a demonstrable taxpayer value? Is it sustainable long term? And lastly, the potential costs that may be affected later. Will it cause long-term issues? And so when you run it through the filter of those 5 questions, there's an awful lot of them that just don't, we just oppose. A lot of them, like over 90-some%, that just don't make any sense. They're largely political bills, in my opinion. It's like what I call the feel-good bill. You know, let's do something, then I can tell my constituents that I tried to get this done, sort of thing. So a lot of them are repeat bills from last year, the year before, things like that. A couple of the things that we rejected right off was redrawing the boundaries of Maricopa County and having 5 counties absorb massive parts of Maricopa County. That would turn Gila County into a 350,000 person county. And of course, that was just flatly rejected. That's not, it's just flatly rejected for obvious reasons. And then there's another one where the Maricopa County would be divided into 4 new counties. And that was rejected as well. There has to be a good reason to do that. And so you have to have a good reason to do that, other than Maricopa County just has too many people. That's not a good enough reason. So we went through quite a few. They're all rejected. We did support a couple of measures that help in the sense of the Auditor General overseeing the county treasurers at a higher level, okay? Whether or not these bills pass is, you know, we don't know. But we did support maybe more review over the treasurers, and that's a reaction, as we know, to the county treasurer that embezzled some money. And so that happens a lot. So something happens, oh, let's make a bill, let's make a law. And so we get a lot of election stuff that way too. Like one of them was going to precinct voting only without having voting centers. This would increase the cost. It would make it less convenient. There would be a cap of 1,000 people per precinct that could vote at that spot. And anyway, just complicate the voting tremendously, add to the cost, require more volunteers, and solve what? And solve what? It's the idea that it's a solution to a perceived issue. And so we rejected that one as well. So I'll be meeting every week on the LPC, and I'll try and take a little less time to review. This is the first one, so I took a few minutes to kind of say the direction we're going and go from there. So the deadlines are coming up. There's I think it's I had it here. It had to be out of committee. All bills have to be out of committee by the end of February or something like that. So it's a mad rush. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize to back up a little bit. But as you, in your reports, you mentioned about procurement and being able to do some projects and do some things. I wanted to take a moment, if I could, to have Maren come and introduce a new staff member at the Finance Department.
Sure.
Olivia Todd, Finance Director. Her specific purpose will be procurement. We have recognized that we have issues with our procurement, needing to be more efficient and effective in what we do. And one of Olivia's direct first charges is to work on procurement countywide and how we can do it better. So, Maren, if with your permission, Mr. Chairman, Maren, if you
Please.
introduce Olivia.
Thank
Good
you,
morning.
Mr. Chair, Supervisor Klein, Supervisor Humphrey. This is Olivia Todd. She's joining Gila County Finance for the second time. She brings a wealth of experience in all areas of finance, as well as treasury and all areas of government finance. We're super excited to have her on board. And she is currently working with a consultant to update and improve our procurement policy so that it comes to you in a new up-to-date format with current statutory references and other items in it that need to be updated. From there, we will update our procurement procedures. And Olivia is also working on helping us go live with a new contract management software that will make everything much more transparent to our departments and make it really easy, similar to how Michael has described Monday.com to you. It'll be like the finance version of that. So you'll be able to see, or your executive admins will be able to see at a glance what the status of any project or procurement is.
Wonderful. Supervisor Humphrey.
Thank you very much for joining the team. We appreciate the teams that have been built, and so thank you for coming on, and you heard the presentation from IT today. So as we go forward, and thanks Mr. Minlove as manager to help us look at our departments and fill positions and go forward to try to build a better team. So thank you very much for coming aboard for a second time, apparently, to help us go forward with our needs to be a better county. Thank you.
Supervisor Klein.
Welcome, Olivia. Yeah, you got a big chore ahead of you, especially into policies. So, and I know we can't dwell on policies much here. I just want to throw one little statement out. As we go forward and we're looking at updating policies, I, for one, would like to see a draft of those policies well before the meeting. And then that way I'll have a good chance in the time that I got to sit down and look at them. Because your procurement policies will be very important. So thank you for doing all this, Mary. And thank you, Olivia.
Thank you for supporting and encouraging our opportunities to improve.
Yeah, thank you, Maren. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Good to meet you. And thank you for looking forward in what we need to do to improve the department. You have a giant job ahead of you, and we really appreciate all you do.
We appreciate your support. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So is that all we have today?
No.
I'm sorry? Supervisor Klein.
Thank you, ladies. I want to go back to LPC, and thank you for doing that, Steve.
Yeah.
That's a tough deal to be on. I tell you what. But I wanted to ask you, James, as a county, if we come up with how do we do this as a county if we want to run a bill on something? How is that going to work? How are we going to do this? Are we going to have to work something like that through a work session, or how's that going to go? Because as a county, it needs to come up in front of us as a board. For I may want to stick a bill out there that these two don't want nothing to do with or whatever. So I don't represent the county. I represent my district, and then ultimately the county with my partners. So how do we do that? What's the process?
Chairman, my apologies. We can't have a discussion based off of the current event. So if you want to have that discussion, you can do it after the meeting, or it would need to take place in a work session. I'm sorry, I know that you're,
Oh, no, that's good, Jessica.
asking how it would come before you, and it would be a work session.
That would be a good work session, I believe, because I've wondered about this before. And so if we could roll out something like that into a work session to discuss, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Jessica.
Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta keep us on track. Thank you. Mr. Menlove?
If I could make one comment, that we do have a contract with Policy Development Group to help us with our state legislative issues. Is that okay? Maybe. It's a discussion.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to discussing that one further. If there's nothing else, then I will adjourn our meeting. Thank you.